And then you mentioned something about white. The color white often comes up when talking about the Holy Spirit. Your knuckles, you saw the bare white bones of your knuckles?
Bare white. I mean, I've never seen a cadaver's knuckles. So I really don't know what a knuckle looks like, but you can see that if I just do this without even having the skin separate, you can see white knuckles, the knuckles there. But that's what she said. Look at your knuckles. I'm telling you the bare bone truth. I mean, the funny thing is that as I'm telling you this, I don't feel anything special about it. It's, I mean, it just happened, that's all.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't happen to everybody. And
Can I just interrupt you?
Sure.
I think that it may be possible that it happens to more people than people speak about. Because you say something like that to just anybody and they'll say, what is this baloney? You are making things up. So people don't speak about it. I don't speak about it.
One thing I think is interesting is how your father had friends of all faiths.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, it looks like Mary's kind of like that too. She doesn't discriminate and just appear before Catholics or whatever.
See, and I think that what she's, that second time around, when she said, we are in harmony. We are one. It just threw me back to the years when I was in the first convent in a street, and I was really confused. What is going on? I know people who are Catholics who are really good people, but they looked at Jews in a different way. I knew Jews who were very good people, but they looked at Catholics, and so many of them were, these are our enemies. They want to kill us, get rid of us. So I used to talk to Jesus and Jehovah almost nightly, because as little girls we had to go to bed early. However, chapel was open all night long, so you could go to chapel anytime. So I spent many hours in the chapel, and I would talk to both of them, and I would tell them, look at me, I'm just a little girl. I don't know what's going on down here, but I have a big secret to tell you. And I told them that people down here don't see each other. And what I meant, but I didn't know the word at the time, was that people stereotype each other down here. And I thought the Lord didn't know about it. So I said, people down here don't see each other. And I thought it was a big secret.
How many years did all this involvement with the Nazis take place in your life?
Well, we were occupied in 1939. My father had a big brewery. It was a family business in a place called Novi Targ in Poland. And one day, soon after the occupation, some German soldiers walked into our home, and one of them held a pistol at my father's, just like that, and gave him the orders to show everything, how everything operated in the factory, in the brewery, and everything. And my father showed him everything he wanted to see and told him everything he wanted to know. And when this guy walked out, he said, this is it, we got to get out of here. So he crossed the border. Well, first we tried to cross the border. I think I told you 3 times. Were caught every time by dogs, the German Shepherd dogs. To this day, I don't feel comfortable with a German Shepherd dog.
I can understand that.
And and then my father said, look, I'm going to go first. saying, I'm going to see how I can arrange for somebody to come and get you. And that's what he did. He crossed the border, God knows how, and then he sent a woman from the Tatra Mountains, a Catholic woman, dressed like the mountain people in Poland from that region are dressed in very special ways. I don't know how to maybe if you've seen a movie or seen some dances, you know, you will know what dress. And so we are crossing this frozen river, and we could see that across maybe it was more like a stream, not really a huge river. There is a soldier who is standing there, and he's got a gun, he's got a rifle. And this lady told my mother, this is what we will tell him. I'll tell him that you are a mute, so he will not know that you don't speak Slovak. So you will be the mute. You were married to my brother, and my brother just died, and his family, namely me and the rest of our family, don't want you to be alone in Poland under all this stuff that's going on. So we decided to bring you across the river and stay with us. And so don't say a word. You are not allowed to speak a word. It's okay for the kids to speak Polish, but you've got to just be mum. And she told this to this soldier. And to this day, I think that this soldier knew more than he let know. And he said, I don't think he said welcome, but whatever he said, he didn't throw us back to go back to Poland.
What do you think the percentage of people in your situation survived all this? Was it were you part of a small percentage?
I don't know. Every now and then I read a story about somebody who was in a convent or a monastery in Žilina. So Žilina is in northern Slovakia, not far from the town where we lived before we went to the first convent. So it's near the Tatra Mountains also. And I know that I have read a couple of stories just out of nowhere. Somebody who was saved in other places. And once, many years ago, I went to a conference of the hidden children. And it was a conference of...
Where was it?
Where was it? It was somewhere, I think somewhere in LA.
LA?
LA. And it was a conference between, it was the child survivors. So the child survivors are those who actually were in a concentration camp. Oh. And then there was the hidden children. And so we met as a one group. And of course, I had carried a lot of guilt that I had it easy, right? The children who were actually in the concentration camps had it much worse. I mean, to this day, I know that they had it much worse. I know only of one little friend who survived. I mean, I already had, when the Jewish families were transported out of that Slovak town where we were staying, Keshman, to the concentration camps in cattle cars, I already had papers. I was safe, right?